question. It says my stream status is poor. It says the stream is healthy. We'll find out. Listen, I am, YouTube can be a little bit finicky, to say the least. But I'm not going to worry too much about that for now. And we're going to move on and pretend that everything is A-okay, kosher, and exactly the way God intended. This is the hope and the plan and the dream. So bring it in, team. Bring it in. Bring it in, everybody. Don't make it weird. Gather in. Gather in. Come on. Come on in. Over my friends over on YouTube. Hey there. Hey there. Sansito. O. Johnson. Good to see you. Absno. Hi there, Absno. Großtisch von Deutschland. And Sansito. Have I seen the first game of the World Cup? I have not. Luca. Spriba. Was ist los? Gabriel. Well, nice to have you with us, Gabriel Benjamin. It's a pleasure and an honor. Pleasure's all mine. Hey there, JC. Of course, Binky and Voodoo. 5 years, Binky. 5 years. Half a decade, you and me. Half a decade. Someday. Who knows? May even meet in real life. I'm gonna give you a big hug. Big, sloppy bear hug. Just make it really awkward and uncomfortable for you. And when you sit there and you squirm and wiggle to get away, I'm just gonna smile and secretly laugh on the inside, knowing that deep down it's what you need. You're welcome for that in general. Well, listen, I think it's plenty of time for me to be annoying you, and frankly, I don't think it's nearly enough. Can you really only know somebody after 5 years? Can any of us really know anybody after 5 years? I mean, I feel like we've barely got to know each other, you know? And let's be honest, it's a bit of a one-sided relationship. I mean, I do pretty much all the talking, you know? I mean, let's not kid ourselves. And, you know, you mostly just sit there in the corner and pout annoyed, you know? Just whinge in the corner, complaining about things. It's kind of how this relationship works. I'm not mad at it. Not mad at it one iota. I think it works. And I'm just saying, just calling it like I see it. And that's life. That's life. But anyway, hope everybody's doing really well. Oh, well, I just got it. Calm down. No, I didn't get it. Oh, no, it's because I have those turned off. But let me check what's going on here. Hold on. Hold that thought. Hold that thought. No, telling me to check a thing. I changed it on YouTube. I said manly. I even just checked it. It says manly relaxation and great advice. That's what I do. I give you manly relaxation and I offer amazing advice. This is what the people know me for. The people being you all. Hi. So speaking of amazing advice, how can I help you today? How can I help improve your psychological state? How can I bequeath wisdom upon the unwashed masses? You just let me know. You're right, it's not great advice. It's epic advice. It's legendary advice. Great does not really encompass the quality of the service that I provide. Thank you for correcting me, Binky. That's what I appreciate about you. Keep me on my toes. I like it. I like it. Exactly. Me being silent is a terrible idea. Can you imagine the disservice? Think of all the tens of people that I've impacted. Tens. At least 10 people have had an impact. At least 10 people, maybe 12. I mean, I could even maybe say even a baker's dozen. Possibly even 13. I mean, that's a lot, you know. I'm just saying. One can't look a gift horse like that in the mouth now, can they? No, they cannot. No, they cannot. Voodoo Edinburgh gives great advice, especially on color analysis. Dude, it was hilarious. My sister-in-law was, we're doing things for the baby shower and picking out colors for my, her gown or whatever. And my wife's color palette, after having studied it, is like Megan is like soft summer, and her sister is funny. Her sister is like blonde hair, blue eyed. Her sister is like the definition of spring. And when I mentioned that, I told that to her sister. I was like, well, Megan is like a soft summer color palette, and you're like, you know, you're spring. And apparently she was just like, how does your husband know that? Who did you marry that he knows that you're a soft summer and I'm a spring color palette? And it's just like, well, he does play Edna Mode on and do color analysis on his YouTube channel, so it is just a funny thing to be able to bust that out and be like, oh yeah, I know you're kind of a cool winter palette. Anyway, you should be FCC. See, I love how Binky's like, I'm so impressed. I know you are. I know. I'm an impressive human. What can I tell you? You know? I like how Binky's always so coy with me. I'm so annoyed with you all the time, Jeremiah. He's such a nuisance, blah, blah, blah. You little donkey. Blah, blah, blah. It's okay. It's okay. I get it. It's okay. Like I said, I've helped at least 6, 7 people. Maybe more. Maybe Gabriel, maybe 15. Maybe Wookie, 14, 15. Maybe. Who knows? I don't know. Yeah, it's funny. Impressively bad. Right back. I'm gonna tickle you. Oh, Jesus. Voodoo Van Stel. Is there a more powerful position for a woman than to say my hubby plays an incredible character on the internet to strangers and they lap it up? I mean, Voodoo, bro, that's what I'm talking about. Mic drop. Like, mic drop. Yeah. What's your husband do? Oh, I don't know. Only plays Edna Mode. Puts on a wig and glasses and does an amazing Edna Mode. Oh, that's all. And people go like, oh my God, that's your husband, the ASMR Jeremiah. And they magically pull out, notepads and pens, begging her for an autograph. And they're just like, oh my God, you are the wife of the ASMR Jeremiah. And it blows their minds. I know. Listen, if I had a nickel for every time I'd been stopped in public and people freaked out when they realized who was in front of them, I would have exactly 0 nickels. But, someday it's gonna happen. Oh, no, wait. No, whoa. Hold on. No, I'd have 1 nickel. I had somebody at Burning Man recognize me. I'd have 1 nickel. Somebody at Burning Man was like, wait a minute, Jeremiah? He was somebody's friend. Yeah, it was like a friend of mine's friend, and they were like, and they followed me on YouTube, which was hilarious. So I'd have 1 nickel. And they didn't like freak out or anything there, but yeah, I was like, oh my god, the ASMR Jeremiah. So I'd have 1 nickel. It's a big deal. It's a lot of nickels. Listen, 1's a whole lot more than 0 nickels. It's a whole lot more than 0. 1 nickel at least. I think that's the only one. Pretty awesome. Gabriel Benjamin, so what goes through your head when you play the Joker? What does go through my head when I play the Joker? Well, it depends on the role play, obviously. You know, if I'm doing like, I mean, it really depends, you know. If I'm doing a lawyer, it's very different than doing like an interrogation, which is very different than doing like, you know, principal Joker, or, you know, the Joker gives you a haircut or interrogates you or whatever I said. Like, they're all very different, but the main thing that, that's all good, Mickey. The main thing that I, think about when I'm being the Joker is just that I'm just there to amuse myself. Like, the Joker is a true anarchist. He is a true, you know, narcissistic sociopath. Like, he does not care about you or anybody. He is truly in it for the lulz. You know, I love that line from The Dark Knight, you know, where Heath Ledger, his line is, you know, I'm like a dog. I'm like a dog chasing a fire truck. I just do things. I wouldn't know what to do with myself if I caught it. I just do it. And there's something that's beautiful about that. Just that acknowledgement that, you know, he does not care. That totally, what is that philosophy? Not anarchist, it's called nihilist. He's a total nihilist, you know? But, like, he believes it, like, in his core. So it's fun to play somebody like that, who is I'm like a dog chasing cars. I wouldn't know what to do if I caught one. Exactly, Voodoo. That's the line I was looking for. And in that mindset, it's just fascinating, you know, to truly be an absolute nihilist, you know. Because I'm not. I'm like the opposite of a nihilist, you know. And it's funny, you know, because, like, I have. Thank you, Pretty Bud. I've done. I think Gabriel. Haven't I done a Joker haircut? Have I not? Have I not done a Joker haircut? I've done a lot of Joker videos. I don't know. Go check my Joker playlist on YouTube. There's a lot of them. Maybe I haven't done a haircut. Maybe I haven't. It's possible. I'm gonna do a Joker gives you a haircut. The next time I bother putting the makeup on, I always film like 2 Jokers when I do the whole shebang, because it's, you know, putting on the Joker as a production. If I next time maybe I'll do a Joker if I haven't done one. Yeah, I suppose it's on the list of things to do. Cillian Murphy. I do like Cillian Murphy. He's a cool cat. I'm not sure what I would do as him, though. Like, what would I do as Cillian Murphy? Peaky Blinders. The problem is, can't do a northern accent. Down. Time to get this down. It's hard to do. I can't do a northern accent. It's really hard. Yeah. So I don't know if I do Peaky Blinders. Do I watch the actual show? Yeah. I don't know. It's food for thought. Teacher ASMR. Yeah, but what would that even be, bro? I teach all the time when I'm doing ASMR. Do you not watch my channel? I'm didactic. I'm didactic AF. I'm constantly teaching. Yeah, no, the one I'm looking forward to doing right now is Benoit Blanc from Knives Out. That's going to be a really fun one. I'm just waiting to hear back from somebody. I'm trying to land a whale. I'm trying to land a whale right now, at least a whale for me. Because I think it'd be a really fun collaboration. It'd be a really fun collaboration. I haven't harpooned it yet. I've opened up discussions, but I have not officially harpooned it. It's not even a whale. It would just be something that it's just a brand that I feel quite passionately about. So it'd be really fun to work with them, just because I'm like genuinely like a huge fan. And I have a great idea to do Benoit Blanc and like integrate it with this brand, and they're interested. They haven't, but I haven't. We'll see. And I guess if they say no, and they'll still do Benoit Blanc, and I just won't do my brilliant integrated ad for them. Oh, it's so good. It'd be so good. And it's just the perfect, hilarious integration for Benoit Blanc. I hope it works out. Fingers crossed. We'll see. Favorite plays is Joker interrogates Gordon and the audience is Gordon. You know what's funny about that, Voodoo? I never officially thought of the audience as being Gordon when I did that any of my interrogations. I had an idea of who my last one was, who my last Joker was interrogating, and some of you picked it out, kind of guessed it in the comments, but I didn't officially say anything. But I was thinking of something semi-specific the last time. But anyway, yeah. But no, it was never Gordon. My favorite Joker. Oh, Heath Ledger. Like Heath, Jack, Joaquin. Yeah, Heath, Jack, Joaquin, in that order. But Heath for me, his was just such a. Heath just brought such a groundedness and believability to the character. Where even Jack Nicholson, I mean, look, it's fantasy, obviously. It's a comic book. It's an archetypal, silly villain. It's out there. But and I didn't mind Jack Nicholson's at all. But for me, I really thought that Heath Ledger's there was just something just weirdly believable about his dark choice. Yeah, it was just different than anybody else's, and my favorite, and it's not even close. So, and it's funny. I was watching some like behind the scenes or something on The Dark Knight, and my generation, like when we saw Heath do that, like we were like, whoa. And a modern audience is not as impressed by it for whatever reason, because I think that, you know, once he did that and laid the groundwork for playing a kind of like an over-the-top villain, but finding a, you know, a resonance where you kind of liked him, you know, more so even than Jack Nicholson's Joker, where it was kind of like he was more tapped into almost like a Hannibal Lecter thing, where he's this horrible human. He's a horrible human. What's up, Annie? Great to see you. Give Andrea a big hug for me. You know, the Joker's like this horrible human, and you're also kind of like rooting for him in a weird way. You know, like that's the best. Like when you're like, dude, this guy is messed up, but you're like, you're kind of intrigued by him, you know? Like he's a murdering psychopath. Full stop. But there's like a code, you know, it's just weird. You kind of like, yeah. And there's something really fun about playing a character like that. So, and I give all the credit to, to Heath, because he was just, I mean, he's the man. He was the man. You know what I'm saying? He created that character, and it was just so different than any other Joker had ever been. You know, it was just different. And, yeah, what a loss. Love you, bro. Hope you're doing great. Lucas, you're from Brazil. Obrigado, my friend. Obrigado. Thanks for joining. Appreciate you. I've learned to play blackjack with you and was able to gain $50 at a casino, although I lost all of it on the machines. Lucas. Do not play the one-armed bandits, bro. They will take your money. Blackjack is the closest game to 50-50 that you can play. John Espinoza, representing Ecuador. What's up, John Espinoza from Ecuador? Dude, that's dope, man. Appreciate that, dude. The bank high scene with Heath is half-injured. Sprays and praises on men while putting the duffel bags in the school bus. It's like, exactly. He doesn't, well, again, Voodoo, because he has a code. Like, he only does, like, certain violence. Yeah, it's just fascinating. Yeah. And his movements, the way he moved. So good. So good, dude. Yeah, he is, like, to me, The Dark Knight is just capital. Just so good. You gotta see when he comes in. You know, he, ha. And yeah, wearing the purple duster. Oh man. Like, this guy's a freak. He's crazy. I'm not. So good. So good. Anyway. The Spanish accent. I do like the Spanish people's. Spanish accent is very fun. You know what's so funny? I quote this all the time. I quote Antonio Banderas very often. I quote him, one, from Interview with the Vampire. Antonio Banderas has a very small part in that movie, but he has this one line where he says, I am sorry to hear that. I love the way he says it. I am sorry to hear that. What's the other line of his that I quote all the time? There's another one. It is forbidden to turn one so young, to make one so young. I also do. The other one I quote is, there, I cannot help you. I am sorry to hear that. There, I cannot help you. I say that all the time. There, I cannot help you. I am sorry to hear that. Anyway, Antonio, sexy son of a bitch. especially like in Desperado. Oh my God. Him and Salma Hayek in Desperado. Sweet Mother Mary and Joseph. What a combination. What a movie. Remember the first time I saw Salma Hayek in that movie? I was just like, there's no way a human being is this hot. How is a human this attractive? Like, that first scene when you meet Salma Hayek and she's like walking down the street in slow motion, I was just like, is this human for real? Is this human real? I almost, well, I'm being very generous with myself. I was about to say, almost had an opportunity to work with Salma. I'm being extremely generous. Oh, I know Voodoo. I know that bombs. It was not a bluff. When we were doing dual language audiobooks, and I have a dual language audio version of The Prophet. I've read The Prophet. I did the English reading, obviously, and we had this great guy read the Spanish. And it's probably is that better than the Poe? I don't know. I like the Poe. I did too. But I think the best book we probably did. Oh, good back scratch. Thanks for the follow, J-Trick. The best video book we probably did in dual language is probably The Prophet. And we hired this guy. Good back scratch. We hired this guy. He was from Spain. And he had a just magnificent Spanish voice. He sounds sort of like this. You see, I cannot talk like this at a normal speaking voice. I can only do this. I get a very low whisper where I have this, like, gravelly vocal fry down here, whatever this voice is. I can only do this at very low volumes. And he could just, like, talk like this. Oh, it was magnificent. And so, but I had this idea because Salma had made an animated version of The Prophet with Liam Neeson, and Liam Neeson also has a magnificent voice. And I figured out who. I figured out. Nice Katarina's supposed to be 16. Whatever. He wasn't 16 in that, but he's okay. He was still magnificent, his voice and everything. So I reached out to Salma's manager. I figured out her email. You can figure out somebody's email address oftentimes if you go to the company and you figure out like their email format where it's like somebody's like first name dot last name, first initial dot last name, just first initial last name, whatever their format is, at blah 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 dot blah blah blah. And I figured out, I guessed it, but I figured out Salma's manager's email. Or maybe it was on IMDb Pro. Maybe I'm giving myself too much credit. I know no, that's how I emailed William H. Macy's agent. Yeah, I tried several emails, but I figured out the email, like, what do you call that? Not code, but like the email, style of that company, that talent agent that he worked at. And so I emailed William H. Macy's agent, and he actually responded to me. Nothing ever happened of it, of course, but he did actually respond to me, which was kind of fun. But anyway, so I emailed Salma's manager and I said, hey, we're doing The Prophet in English and Spanish. I loved your version, which I really did. Like, they did a beautiful not Spanish version, a beautiful animated, kind of like in the style of Fantasia. Is kind of the best way I can describe it. Sort of in that kind of Disney style. And did The Prophet. and did a great job with it. And I was like, maybe she would be interested in like reading the Spanish and being like, this female Spanish voice. And I was like, dude, can you imagine if I got like Salma Hayek or Liam Neeson to read The Prophet for me? Did it happen? No. Although, I mean, at least her manager did get back to me. Like, she wrote back and she was like, no, Miss Hayek is, not doing this or whatever. Or like, is too busy or something. I forget what she said. But I actually did get a response which was polite. So maybe she didn't hate the pitch. Maybe she didn't hate it. Because I knew I couldn't like afford her. Like, I'm not sure what her rate would be, but it would be like hundreds of thousands of dollars. There's no way we could pay her to do it. So I'd just be like, is there any way that you would like be wanting to do this like pro bono? I forget what I said. It's back in like 2019. Anyway, so listen. Did I ever get to work with Salma Hayek? No. Did I email her manager and get a response? Yes. So, like, I was close. I was close. Sort of. I don't know, maybe a little bit. Anyway, at least I tried. But dude, I remember, but oh my god. When I first saw Salma Hayek in Desperado, like that was when I knew I could not be gay. There's just, I'm kidding, I knew before then, but like, dude, like that was just one of those like moments of like, how is a human being that? How is a human being that sexy? And if you don't know what I'm talking about, do yourself a favor and Google Salma Hayek, Desperado, opening Salma Hayek scene, and you'll see what I mean. It's just like, jeez Louise. Anyway, enough Salma Hayek worship. Funny story. Speaking of Salma Hayek worship, Quentin Tarantino in the movie Dusk Till Dawn. Again, Alex Rodriguez. Shout out to Alex Rodriguez, right? Amazing guy. He does Dusk Till Dawn, and if you don't know, Quentin Tarantino is a foot guy. Okay, he's got a bit of a foot fetish, and the famous scene where Salma Hayek has like the boa constrictor wrapped around her in the bikini. Amazing scene, but not as hot as Desperado. She peaked in Desperado. That was just like, whew, amazing. Still hot, I'm not saying it wasn't. I love the music from both movies. The music was amazing. But the scene where she like drips the champagne down her leg and like into Tarantino's mouth, and she's like rubbing her foot in his mouth. Like, it's like, you son of a bitch, Tarantino, you sneaky dog. Like, you completely wrote in this scene where you got to put Salma's foot in your mouth. And here's the thing, I am not a foot guy. It's not for me, okay? I'm not gonna yuck anybody else's yum. I know that there are many dudes who are like, that is my jam. They're foot people. Whatever, to each their own. But like, to be a foot dude and then write that scene into your script where you got to do that, Quentin, you sly dog, you sly dog. I know, 94 T94, that's sly son bitch. Oh man, shout out to Tarantino, man. I mean, look, shout out. You gotta give credit. Where credit is due. right? Credit where credit is due. Let's see. RD Tercios. I'm gonna try to send this message, but what do you think the house edge would be if both the dealer's cards were visible, assuming nothing changes? Oh, no, I go way down. The whole point is that you can't... the whole point is that you're betting on you don't know what that undercard is. If you knew what that undercard was, the player's advantage would be huge. What does not matter is whether or not the player's cards are dealt face down or face up. That makes no impact. Because the house is... the house, if I'm the dealer, I have to hit until I get a hard 17. Okay? Every casino, I think, maybe somewhere you can find a casino that stands on a soft 17, but I don't think so. Maybe. Yeah, like, but no, if you could, if you could see the house's down card, that would completely change the way you bet. Like, if you knew that the house had a 20, you would hit a hard 19, because, like, who cares? You know, you would know exactly if you were beat or not, and whether or not you could stand or hit. You would just know, you know? So, no, it'd give the player a massive advantage. So they will never do that. Tevins, good day, Squire. Lovely to have you with us. Hey, Busus, sup? I'm good. What do you prefer to bet your life on, a game of poker or a game of blackjack? Oh my god, poker. Poker, you have, like, a fighting chance of, like... Well, if it's one hand, it doesn't matter. If you're playing, like let's say, it's like, if I had to win, would I rather play poker? If I had to make money, would I rather play poker or blackjack? If it's just one hand, it doesn't matter. You're equally likely to win or lose or whatever, right? It doesn't matter. But if it was like my life depended on making money, poker, no question. Because you just have so much more control over your game, you know? And, you know, one of the good things that the thing that sets apart the great poker players, the Daniel Negreanu's, the Phil Ivies, the, you know, Phil Hellmuths, you know, what the great poker players, what makes them legends is it's not their wins, it's when they fold. It's folding a good hand, you know. It's folding, you know, a set of trips because they read correctly that their opponent has them beat with a straight or a full house or something. It's like, it's what makes those guys, what sets those guys apart and makes them, like, champions is their ability to read people and their laydowns, that most people just would not have the discipline to lay down that hand. And they'll lay down a hand where they were beat and protect their money, where everybody else would be like, dude, I have a straight. I have it. I have a straight. And, like, just hoping and praying that their partner or opponent does not have a full house when they do. And the great poker players just know when to they know when to let it go, you know. Voodoo, that's exactly what I'm talking about. Negreanu is famous for it. There's amazing collections of Negreanu calling his opponent's hole cards. Like, it's like, dude, what's up, Polly Bolton? What's up, Luke Till? Like, it's freaky. Like, Negreanu it's literally like the movie. It's literally like the movie Rounders, where Matt Damon, like, you know, reads the players blind, you know, and you think, oh, is that even possible? Like, who can do that? It's like, it's kind of based off of Daniel Negreanu, because he actually does that on a regular basis. And it's not like, oh, he did it one time. It's like, no, dude, like, he does it not an insignificant amount of time. It's amazing. I know. So yeah, if my life depended on it, and I had to like make money playing an hour of blackjack or an hour of poker, hands down, not even close. Because you can control it, you know. And the thing about playing poker is mostly just the discipline to fold. That's why it's like being a professional poker player is like, it's like kind of long periods of boredom with like spiked with like mass, like it's kind of like fighting in a war or being a soldier, where you just have like long periods of intense boredom intercut with extreme anxiety and like excitement, where it's like most of the time you fold, flop, fold, flop, turn, river, fold, ooh, score. And there's a line from the movie Rounders where your goal is like one big pot an hour. That's it. One big score per hour. You know, yeah, sometimes you'll hit a couple, but you're really just trying to grind it out, you know? And so the beauty of poker, you can just keep folding until you get better cards. Anyway, that's it. That's the secret. RD Tercios, the doubling. I think there's a famous strategy in blackjack where, you know, well, look, if every time I bet, I just double my bet, I'll eventually win. Well, problem is, you can lose 7 hands in a row. Like, if any of you like watch my blackjack videos, you'll see that there are streaks where the player loses like 6-7 hands in a row. And if you're doubling your bet every time, you know, you start off with, let's say, a $10 bet, you lose. Okay, round 2, $20 bet, you lose. Okay, round 3, $40 bet, you lose. Round 4, $80 bet, you lose. Round 5, $160 bet, you lose. Round 10, $320 bet, you lose. You can see how you can, like, if you have enough bankroll, eventually you will win, but you have to have a very deep bankroll. So HUD zone, what would that mean? What would be the Fibonacci sequence? So that eventually you just kind of got back to even. I mean, I guess. Yeah, I mean, look, there's a million different strategies to playing blackjack. The only one that consistently works, to my knowledge, is a combination of counting cards and finding hot tables. Like there's the movie with Kevin Spacey, the blackjack movie. What's it called? Kevin Spacey. It's a fun movie. It's about a real MIT students or something. 21. I guess it's called 21. There you go. And it's based on a real story where these kids were like math geniuses, and they went to Vegas and they're counting these 6-stack shoes and stuff. But it's not just counting cards. they would move around, and you had to find tables that were heating up. Because if there's one thing that's weird about gambling, it's that some tables heat up. And who knows why, man? I don't know. Like, there are being a cooler is an actual thing in Vegas, where it's like, there's a famous movie called The Cooler with William H. Macy, where like they're bad luck, and the casino will literally like hire somebody who is just like bad luck to go, and when somebody's getting hot and they're winning a lot of money, to go sit next to and play next to. Is it a real thing? It shouldn't be. It shouldn't. It shouldn't matter. It shouldn't. But, like, I don't know. Apparently it matters, dude. Yeah, gambling is very weird. And again, I am not a gambler. I do not endorse gambling. I think it's entertainment. It can be fun, you know? Hey, man, gambling can be fun. But it can also be devastating, you know? Devastating. I don't have any bones about it. It was Jim Sturgis, the professor, I forget. Let's see, the most non-creep. Sup, bro? You know, Ebusus. I don't know who Mickey Mays is. I know that's messed up. I couldn't tell you who he is. I feel like I should know who Mickey Mays is. I feel like I should know this. The name is like vaguely familiar, but I literally couldn't tell you who he is. Sorry. Oh, the college kid was Jim Sturgis. Ah, gotcha. Yeah, Sean, well, you know, if the house catches you counting cards, they will kick you out and ban you, even though it's not illegal. 100%, Sean, exactly, you know. Like, you know, in the movie, there was nothing that those guys were doing in the movie 21. There was nothing they were doing that was illegal, technically. Now, I heard about another guy. Now, some people swear this is true. There was some kid, and he bought an old craps table. You got a little one coming in December. Any advice? Sure, Robert. We'll talk about that in a minute. Let me tell my story first. You know, the eggs got banned. Oh, got it. He was a famous gambler. Oh, yeah, there you go. No idea. There was this kid, and he bought an old, used craps table, which, you know, you can buy those at, like, you know, like Vegas, like, you know, wholesale places, you know, where they have, like, old gaming equipment and, like, old warehouses where the old stuff goes to die. And the kid bought one, or his mom did or something, and every day he practiced throwing dice. And legend has it, he got so good at throwing regular, unweighted dice that after doing that repetition, holding them in a very specific way, holding them in his hand, and throwing them exactly the same way, thousands of times, thousands of repetitions, he got to the point where he could not crap out, not get a 7 or an 11. And legend has it, like, this is a real kid, and he could legitimately make money playing craps. And he would just go around whenever he needed money. He would go to these, you know, casino to casino around the world, make a few, maybe $100 grand, maybe a few $100,000, and leave, you know. And I don't know if he used disguises, but he did it. He made enough money to live comfortably, but he didn't make so much money that he thanks, Sean. He didn't make so much money that he you know, stood out too much. He didn't get greedy. But I've heard on good authority from a magician in Vegas that this kid exists, this man, and he learned, and they weren't weighted dice. He threw dice so many thousands of times that he could, you know, not throw a 7 or an 11 for these, like, almost as long as he wanted to, and just keep making money. Because that's the thing about craps. Like, you don't want to throw 7 or 11. It's weird. Craps is a weird game. I do not know how to play it. It's a very strange game. Yeah, maybe lots of weird. I mean, if he made himself millions in Baccarat, there's no. I mean, being a Baccarat master is like saying you're, you know, calling a heads or tails master. You're literally, when you're playing Baccarat, you're betting on the house or the player, like the dragon or the monkey or something. I forget, the dragon or the tiger. I think the house is the dragon and the player is the tiger or something. And all you're doing is betting on the house or the player. And you can bet on either one. It's literally 50-50. So saying that somebody is like a Baccarat master is saying, like, this person is a master at playing heads or tails. And it's like, it's a coin toss. I mean, it's a coin toss. Somebody can be lucky and guess heads or tails, but it's literally a coin toss. There's no skill involved. None. Zero. It's like saying you're like I'm a master roulette player. What are you a master at? Guessing red or black. Guessing a number. You can't be a master at that. But what do I know? Who knows? Maybe he was. Do I want to do collaborations with other ASMR artists? I do. I haven't done one in so long. There was a time in ASMR back in like the when I first began in the early 2020s, 2020, 2021, where we and I know 94, yeah, Baccarat is like crazy high rollers. Thanks, Asswordy. Thank you. Oh yeah, the dad needs his advice. Oh yeah. No, I can't speak German. 9. Any advice for being a dad? Yeah, okay, easy. Be a loving husband and father. Period. Love your wife. Take care of your wife or your baby mama, whatever. Hopefully wife, but you know what? You don't have to be married, I guess. Love your partner. Okay? Love your partner. Love your baby. Be semi-present. Like, dude, the reality is, and I hate to say this, but it's true. The reality is, the bar for being a good dad is shockingly low. Like, it's weird. The bar for being a good dad is shockingly low. Like, dude, you know, just don't suck. Like, love your wife, love your daughter, son, whoever, love your child, Let them know that you love them. Let them know that, teach them stuff, do activities with them, take them camping, take them fishing, take them do the sports you like to do, show them things, let them be a part of your life. Like, I just don't think it's rocket science, But, like, there's so many dads that are just complete, and they're not, I know some. Like, they're not bad people, but they're just, like, absent fathers. Like, they have a kid and they're off doing whatever they're doing, and the mom is back home raising the kid by herself. And not that dad is a bad guy. You wouldn't, if you met him, you'd be like, oh, he's really cool. But, like, just absent. So, like, dude, like, yeah. Don't do that, Kate. Yeah, don't make false promises. Just be present, man. And love your wife. Communicate with your wife. It's so important, because you are the role model for them. You are their complete role model for communication, for how to behave, how men and women should or could get along. Like when mommy and daddy have arguments, do they yell at each other and throw things, or do they, like, okay, I disagree with you, and can they talk it out like adults and not scream and yell at each other and, like, have disagreements? And one of the horrible things that some parents do that's just so sad is they'll, like, ask the kid to, like, choose a parent or, like, take sides, like your father blah blah blah, or like your mother's such a blah blah blah. Oh God, it's so gross. Don't do that. Like, mommy and daddy are a united front. Okay, mommy and daddy are the house. They need to work together, communicate, resolve disputes, which they will have. Mommy and daddy will be in arguments. That's fine. Okay? It's fine to have arguments. But they should never yell, name call, or do like a throw the other one under the bus. Like, that's just horrible behavior. If one parent, like, throws the other parent under the bus. Oof. Not good, man. Not good. So that's it, and that's not easy. I'm not saying, like, what I just said is, like, that's all you have to do, bro. No, it's like, that's a lot. Communication is not intuitive. I highly recommend some kind of course, counseling, therapy, some kind of, like, tools of learning how to communicate and resolve disputes powerfully without ego and name calling and all the typical human behavior, passive aggressive, all that kind of stuff. Like, avoid that like the plague. Learn how to powerfully communicate. That's the best thing you can do. And make sure that you and mom are a united front. Like, that's so important. So important. Blake, you look up to me. Thanks, bro. That's kind of you, Blake. If you could offer one piece of advice to a 24-year-old male, what would it be? Well, I don't know your situation, but I guess my advice to any young male would be, it's kind of the Jordan Peterson advice, which is take on as much responsibility as you can bear. you know? Clean your room, start at home. Clean up your own house. Clean your room. Be your word. Show up to work. Be the person, be the person that deserves the raise in work and life, whatever you're doing. Don't be the person that's like, well, if I got paid more money, then I would do a better job. Like, I've heard people actually use that excuse with people, with like their bosses and stuff. It was like, well, if I made more money, I would show up more. And it's just like, you're an idiot. That's not how life works, buddy. Like, you haven't earned it yet. When you earn, you lead by example. You gotta be the person that is undeniable. You gotta be the person that is, and it's not that we're perfect or anything. I'm not saying like, you gotta be like freaking David Goggins and be some like, whoa, I'm not saying that, but just the best advice I could give you is just, be your word, start at home, clean your room, get your life organized, figure out some sort of direction. You're only 24. You don't need to like plant any flags yet. You're only 24. You got some time. But whatever jobs you're working at, job or jobs you're working at, do your best. Try to be helpful. Try to, and have some goals. Have some goals. That's it. If you can do that, you're ahead of the curve, man. Because there's a lot of people that just, it's weird. It's weird having been on both sides of, I've been somebody who wanted a job, right? And I've been somebody who was hiring. I've hired people before. And I will tell you, as somebody who has hired people, man, it is really hard to hire responsible, reliable people. Boy, let me tell you, the amount of people who flake, are not their word, show up late, it's weird, man. Like, I wouldn't have thought, but having been somebody who tried to hire over the course, maybe 10 people, boy, oh boy, it's really hard to find somebody who can just show up, be their word, and do their job with competence. My goodness gracious. It's if you can do that, you're ahead of the curve, buddy. And being a good uncle, don't worry about that, Sean. Being a good uncle is just, don't be a dick. You're not going to be a part of the kid's life, really. That's the parent's job. You're just going to be a person that be fun, be interesting, teach your niece or nephew a thing that you're interested in. Like for me, it'd be like teaching them chess, or like if we ever go camping, like what I'm into. But your job as an uncle is just to not be a dick. Like, don't be abusive. Just be supportive, listen, be interested in them. That's it. Be interested, listen to them, share things that are interesting to you, and be a part of whatever they're interested in, and supporting their interests. That's all you gotta do, and you're gonna be an amazing uncle. It's really easy. Batman impression ASMR. Batman's not as fun as the Joker. Best place to meet potential partners after school as a young adult? Honestly, probably church. Some kind of a community, something where you're in a place where the the best place to meet people is going to be things where people have similar, not necessarily interests per se, but value systems, right? The thing about church that's so good, and I don't go to church, by the way. I'm very secular. I'm very secular. But there's definitely a missing in modern society because we don't have these like communities of people where multiple synagogue, whatever, you get the idea. Where multiple people are coming together on a weekly basis and mingling, and they have a shared value system. You don't have to even have shared politics. Like some people think like, oh, I have to have like really similar politics as my partner. You really don't. There's a lot of very famous relationships where one is like much more conservative than the other. You know, like one's like very liberal and one's very conservative. One's Republican and one's a Democrat. There's many famous relationships like that, okay? Like the Raging Cajun, James Carville himself, his wife is like conservative, and he was like, this crazy Democrat, I mean, go figure, right? There's many other similar examples. Oh my God, famous one, Ruth Bader Ginsburg. There's a rumor that she had a thing for Scalia, and it's like, what? RBG and Scalia had like a thing, and you're like going, what? So anyway, the point is that you want to be in a place where, Burning Man, being in a camp at Burning Man is a great place to meet people, where you're around people with similar values and you're doing things together, That being said, I met my wife on Tinder. So, I don't know. I met my first serious girlfriend when I was in college, but here's the thing too, like the first serious girlfriend that I had when I was in college didn't go to my school. I met her through a friend. Like, it's like, No. I met her through a friend. Like, yeah. No, but I will tell you a true story about that, though. So, okay, this 100% happened. It was the summer of, must have been 2001. 2002? Maybe it was 2002. No. Yes. Okay, Seattle, alright? Now, I was living in Seattle. It was probably the summer of 2001, actually. And I'd been at a philosophy conference down here in Los Angeles, of all places. And there was a time there I got really big into objectivism for a while. Now, objectivism is the philosophy based around the writings of Ayn Rand. Okay, I had a big Ayn Rand phase. If you haven't read any Ayn Rand, highly recommend it. The Fountainhead, Atlas Shrugged, We the Living, brilliant books. Okay, do I agree with Ayn Rand philosophy totally? No, of course not. However, brilliant author, and there's a lot of fascinating stuff in there. And they used to, I think they still do them. They would do these summer philosophy get-togethers, for lack of a better word. And they do them all over the country. And Colorado one year, and Vermont another year, Los Angeles one year, and down here at the one in Los Angeles, I was and it was just an amazing gathering of like cool humans, man. artists and philosophers and teachers and writers and directors and actors. I mean, it was just this cool gathering of humans, dude. Really cool people. It was called the Objectivist Center. And I had such fond memories of like the cool people I met during this thing. And you would have like you could go to lectures on art, history, philosophy, and it was all just volunteer. It was just fun. Then afterward, you just hang out with people and have conversations and kick it. It was really interesting. And I had a really great conversation with this guy, Damien, who ended up he was a psych major at Harvard at the time, and we were sitting there having lunch together, and I forget how it came up, but we were talking, and he was like, "So how's your life going, you know?" And I was like, "Dude, honestly, it's going great. Like, I'm really doing what I want to be doing. Like, my goal, my dream was to be studying theater and dance at college, and I'm doing that right now. I'm at the University of Washington. I'm studying theater and dance. Like that was my goal, like, is to do exactly what I'm doing, and I'm doing it, and I love it." And he was like, "Awesome." And I was like, "The only thing that I really want that I don't have is I really want a girlfriend, man." And he looked at me like without hesitation. He was just like, "Why don't you have a girlfriend?" And I was just like, "Well, it's not that easy. Like, you don't just like you don't just like get a girlfriend." And he was like, "What do you mean? You're a smart, funny, good-looking guy. If you want a girlfriend, you can have a girlfriend." And it was just so matter of fact. It was just like so matter of fact. And I was just like, and I was taken aback by it. It was just like, okay, interesting. Okay. So I put that in my mind, and I let that kernel germinate. And I was like, if I want a girlfriend, I should have a girlfriend. Why wouldn't I have a girlfriend? If I'm a smart, funny, good-looking guy, I should have a girlfriend. I'm gonna get a girlfriend. I, Jeremiah, am going to get a girlfriend. Cool. Literally, I fly home to Seattle. My friend Ben had met a girl at Green Lake, and he kind of like hit it off a little bit. And he brings her with him to pick me up at the airport. So literally, the first girl that I meet off the plane back in Seattle became my girlfriend. Like, I met her, I saw her, and I was just like, "Hi, I'm Jeremiah. What's your name?" And we ended up having, like, the first time we hung out, it was with my friend, and it was kind of funny. My friend liked her a little bit, and I kind of had to ask him. I was like, "Dude, listen, bro, like, I kind of, like, really like this chick. Would you mind if I took her out on a date?" Even though, like, deep down, I'm like, "Dude, I'm taking this chick out on a date." And he kind of was like, "Well, I mean, I kind of like her, bro, but, like, I guess it's okay." Yeah, I took her out on a date. We went hiking down Mount Rainier, and she became my girlfriend. So it was very much like a mindset of just like, you know, I had to decide that there is no reason why I shouldn't have a girlfriend. None. And it was funny. I mean, the reality, look, was it a perfect relationship? No. She was just kind of fresh out of a tumultuous relationship, to put it mildly. And she kind of was like hemming and hawing about being in a relationship that quickly with me. But I was very clear. I was like, look, I'm not looking for another female friend. I'm in college. I have lots of female friends. I really like you. And if that doesn't work for you, it's totally cool. You know, we don't have to we don't have to date. That's fine. But I don't want another female friend. I really like you and I want to date you. I want to be your boyfriend, you know? And I kind of, I mean, it was sort of an ultimatum. Like, I was just very clear on what I wanted. And we ended up dating for years. You know, I'm not going to say it was a perfect relationship or anything. But, you know, my intentions were very clear. And I knew what I wanted. So that's very important. Like, you know, if you want a girlfriend, boyfriend, whatever you want, be very intentional about, you know, really put out into the universe and be very clear with yourself, like what you're looking for, you know, and fight for it. Fight for the thing that you want. Own it. I want this. I want X, Y, Z. And be kind. I mean, again, one of the great things that Damien said, that again, the kernel of the stock, he's like, dude, and most of you, probably all of you, I'll tell you, it's very hard, and I've suffered from this my whole life, like thinking I was not good looking, thinking I was not that attractive, thinking I was like, all the things, man. I think I was awkward. I don't know. Look, insecurity is a mother. Okay. I'm sure basically all of you are definitely more attractive than you think you are. Some of you probably have like good egos, but most people are not, don't think that they're, most people, like, just, we think that we're like, oh, I'm not, you know, blah, blah, blah. And we don't see ourselves through other people's eyes. We see ourselves through a very negative, closed mirror, you know. And we don't see ourselves how other people see us, which is usually way kinder than we see ourselves. Like 9 out of 10 times, other people see us like in a much more forgiving and generous light than we do ourselves. So, you know, which is why it was so important when Damien told me, he's like, dude, you, and it was so matter of fact that it just like sat with me. It was like, you are a funny, attractive, smart, good-looking guy. Why don't you have a girlfriend? And it was just so matter of fact. You know. And it was just funny, man. And literally the first person I met when I got off the plane home was the person I ended up dating. Now, some could argue it was toxic. Some could argue. No worries, the gamer. Like, yes, but like the point is that you know, it was a great experience. I learned a ton. She was a big influence on me, you know, good, bad, and sideways. I wouldn't take it back, you know. So that's the thing I think people do. It's like when a relationship fails, it's like, oh, I wasted all that time. And it's like, look, you know, not every relationship is going to make it. And you're not going to make it. But hopefully you learn, you know. and have some fun along the way. You know, have fun. Life's short, man. Have fun. Try to enjoy it. You know, the potential family crest for my wife and I, the potential motto is, you may as well enjoy it. Like, life is hard, man. Life is weird. It's tough. It sucks. A lot of it's just a lot of pain, a lot of suffering, a lot of work. You may as well enjoy it. You know, easier said than done. It's a bit of a platitude, I get it, but you know, try to have fun. And even and then, you know, fast forwarding 6-7 years, you know, I'm living in LA, and I'm on Tinder, and I viewed it as fun. You know, Tinder wasn't like, I was definitely looking for a girlfriend. Don't get me wrong. I wanted a girlfriend, right? Like I wanted a girlfriend, but I also really enjoyed dating. You know, I was having fun. I, you know, met some people, went on some dates. Not everything was, you know, not every date was awesome, of course. But I wouldn't say any of them were like terrible or anything. One in particular was awkward. I think I've told you guys this story. I met this one gal, and I met her salsa dancing, and I forget if we like made out a little bit, but anyway, she comes back to my place, okay, and it's like, all right, and I had an apartment. It was like I had the master bedroom and like a 3-bedroom apartment, and it was T94. I had a good time. Now this was not through online dating. I met salsa dancing. But boy, we get back to my place, and she was like, "I want to dance with you." And I was like, "Okay." We've been dancing. I put on a little salsa music in the bedroom. Poured us a few drinks. You know, danced a little bit, and then I was like, "Okay, are we? What are we doing here?" It's like midnight, like 1 a.m. Like, what are we doing here? And eventually we start to like hook up, but she didn't want me to use protection, and I was just like, oh no, we're using protection. And it's just like, I guess in her mind she was like, what, do you think I'm dirty? And I'm like, no, but I don't know you. You don't know me. Like, you don't know me. I don't know you. Like, we're using protection. So we have like, at best, an awkward hookup. Okay? Like it was okay. Alright. Afterward, we're hanging out a little more. She wants to dance a little more. I'm like, okay. So, a drink and a glass of wine, whatever. And we hooked up a second time. Like, we hooked up again. And it like really wasn't better the second time. It was just like, this is awkward. And then at like 2 o'clock in the morning, I drive her home. At like 3 o'clock in the morning, whenever it was, late, man. And I was just like, dude, like, it was like a silent drive home from Marina Del Rey. She lived in Santa Monica. I lived in Marina Del Rey. So I drove from Marina Del Rey up to Santa Monica. And, like, we didn't say anything. Like, it was weird. Well, here's the thing, Abusus. It's also, like, weird, man. She was like a lawyer. Like, she made money. So, super awkward, bro. But it wasn't like I was, like, gonna be her sugar daddy. I was a freaking actor bartender. Like, I was, like, not, like, somebody's meal ticket. I'm not, I was, like, I had a job, but, like, I was an actor bartender, man. Like, I was not, like, flashy dude. And she was literally, like, a lawyer. So, but it was just, oh my God, it was so weird. That was the weirdest one. I remember that. That was the weirdest one. Awkward. Bro, the silence was intense, man. The silence was intense. But anyway, that wasn't even Tinder. That was just like somebody I met salsa dancing that I brought home. So that was like, whatever. I don't know. It's weird, man. But yeah, good luck out there, people. It's a jungle. I'm glad I'm not dating anymore. What was the biggest break you got in your acting career? My business partner's wife telling me I should do ASMR. For real. Like, not even close. But I never got a break. Like, I booked a few things. I was close, man. The thing is, the problem with acting is there's just so much luck, dudes. Like, so much of being a professional actor is just luck, and there were several movies that I booked and TV shows that, like when I was like I was living in Seattle still before I moved to LA, and I booked this TV show. It was going to be made into, and it's going to be on HBO. It's going to be on HBO. And the show got canceled or squashed because they needed to hire more SAG actors in Seattle, and I was non-union at the time. And it was like, dude, this is how I get into the frickin' union. Like, I need this job so that I can get seen. And it was like gonna be like an HBO show. Canceled. Another movie I booked this movie. I'm super excited about it, man. Still in Seattle. And it was gonna be a cool movie. It's very much in the style of like Kevin Smith and comic books, and like it was very cool. And the wife, the director's wife, who we knew was sick when casting began, tragically died of cancer before filming began. Like, tragedy. Just horrible luck. Just tragic. Movie never got made. My big project when I was doing all the Landmark was to get my dad's book series, Jeremy's Run, made into a TV series. I had a friend of mine was on a pretty big show, and it was pitching it to like his director, like one of his like producer friends, and she was interested, and she was like, "Go on, tell me more." He leaves the show for very unfortunate reasons, because he didn't want to bang the lead. The lead actress basically requested him through her publicist, and he politely turned her down and was written out of the show the next season. It's true. Very sad. Very sad. So I was close. Like I was close a bunch of times. There was like things that like if they had gone a different way, who knows? But the reality is the biggest break I ever got, 94, who knows, man, you know, but that you know, he was in a circle of people that had like real influence in Hollywood who were looking for a TV show. And he was like, well, I happen to be working on this, because he really liked the Jeremy's Run series. And he was like, I'm working on turning this one thing into a pilot. And he pitched it to her, and she was like, tell me more. The producer lady. Would it have become a show? I don't know. Would I have been in the show? I don't know. Maybe not. I'd like to think that I could have, I wouldn't necessarily have been like one of the main characters, but I like to think that I could have at least wiggled my way into like a supporting role, you know, some kind of a supporting character. Who knows? So, yeah, I don't know. What are you gonna do? You know, Hollywood's a weird place, man. So yeah, no, the biggest break that I've ever had, is start a YouTube channel. Do your own thing, man. And I had no idea at the time that I would be doing what I'm doing. I didn't know that role plays were a thing. I didn't know what ASMR was. I had never heard of it. I don't even know if what I do is ASMR. I guess. I don't know. I literally just like do these different characters, and like I guess I entertain people doing these different characters in a soft-spoken voice. Like when I'm doing a Joker interrogation, is that relaxing? I don't know. It's weird. I like doing it. Is that ASMR? I'm sure as hell not doing this. And then da 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 da. And then so we're gonna calmly da da da, and we're gonna do whispers pop up. I don't do that. So like, it's like, am I even doing ASMR? I don't know. What I'm doing is just like characters, you know? And people seem to enjoy it. It's weird. But that was the best advice I ever got. Was go do that, Jeremiah. So yeah, there you go. Rachel Graham. Asked, what is the in my country, it is high-key frowned upon when people date. That makes no sense, life. I'm so sorry. Oh, 5U. That makes no sense. Rachel Graham, can you give me advice for health anxiety? No. I don't know. The same advice for all anxiety is go get exercise, get sunlight, break a sweat, you know, take care of yourself, eat healthy. Those things, those are like all the advice is all universal stuff. What's your favorite movie? Who knows? Too many. Speaking of relationship, Capcom used to like Chris Redfield and Jill Valentine, Tyler Knott, Resident Evil. Haven't seen any Resident Evil. Haven't watched any of it. What genre or setting would you most see yourself in a movie? I like dramedy. I like dramas that are funny. Moving was successful for your kind encouragement. Feel my rhythm. That's awesome. Hey, congrats, dude. That's great. And the Joker is one of my personal favorites. Not always just the performance. This is the tapping, the cars, the drinks from the house, and the cubes around. Like it's all relaxing. Well, hey, thank you, Samuel. I'm glad you enjoy it. Appreciate it, buddy. Ryan Nightwolf, obrigado. Thanks for joining, buddy, from Brazil. Nice to have you with us. Let's see. I like this. Possible ban evader. I like that, Binky. Possible ban evader. Interesting. Hi, Jay. Do you ever think that AI will get to the point of being able to replicate or replace the art of acting, or people always crave the human part of watching someone else? I've talked about this before, and it's hard to say. Take care, Kat. Great to have you with us. You know, it's very hard to say what the future will hold. Very hard to say what the future will hold. For now, I would say humans are nice. Humans are very human-centric. Okay? People are people-centric. We really like our own species. Humans are very voyeuristic. We really like watching other people have experiences. Will AI take that away? Maybe. Maybe. I don't know, though, man. Not for a minute. Not for a minute. Because I think there's something different about when you all know, like I could be an AI, but you know. There's something about connecting with a fellow human being, in this case, me, okay, that, you know, you get a real sense, take care, Sean, that you all as the viewers get a sense that I am genuinely looking at you, talking with you, you know, to you and with you. I'm assuming most of you feel like I genuinely care about who you are, because I do. If I didn't, this wouldn't work, you know? Because I have to genuinely care. Otherwise, this whole thing doesn't work. It wouldn't feel right. There's a part of you, the viewer, that knows that I am doing my best to be a good person. Do I always succeed? No. You know? Do I try my best? Yeah. That I think most of you understand that I genuinely want good things for everybody, because I do. Like my proudest achievements are causing love, connection, joy, happiness. Like those, that's what I love the most. If I can put a smile on somebody's face, you know, bring people together, cause love in relationships, that's the best thing, you know. And I think that must come through. Will an AI be able to do that? I don't know. Maybe. To quote Silo, all we know is that that day is not this day. So, for now, I'm not going to worry about it. I'm going to continue to focus on connecting, having fun, you know, being curious, and yeah, that's all I can do. You know? If AI eventually gets so good that it replaces me, well, I'll cross that bridge. But I have a sneaking suspicion that humans will want to connect with other humans for a very, very long time. Will that be true? I don't know. But if I was a betting man, which I'm not, but if I was, that's what I would bet. Because that's been the case for thousands of years. I don't know why that would change in the next couple. For thousands of years, people's favorite subject has been themselves and other people. It's what we love. It's why we love movies. It's why we love plays and stories and music and songs and everything. It's what humans love. We love other humans. We're just a very social little monkey. So, yeah. Who in the World Cup? I don't know. Germany, Brazil, Spain, France, Mexico. USA. Not going to happen. No, I have no idea. Brienne. Heading off to sleep in Ireland. It's 1:45. Well, sweet dreams. Thanks for coming and saying hi. Rachel, every time I exercise, I feel like there's something wrong with me, but I know there isn't. Well, Rachel, it sounds like you're not doing it nearly often enough. You gotta find a pattern and a habit that you can do regularly. To quote Aristotle, you are what you repeatedly do. You are what you repeatedly do. Excellence, then, is not a virtue. It's a habit. So you need to be in the habit of creating a system that's repeatable, and that system needs to include exercise, sleep, and you also need to be solving some kind of a challenging problem. Humans need to be challenged. If you're not doing a job or work or something that is challenging to you, that you're not improving at, you're probably gonna not be happy. Like, humans need to be doing something that they find difficult, that they can get better at, that they can improve at. We need that. We need it. And without it, it's not good. You know, the happiest people are not people that are lounging around on the beach all day. You know, like the trust fund baby who has all the money, and it's like those kids are sad and depressed and strung out on drugs and alcohol, and they don't appreciate anything because everything was given to them. So, they're driving around in their Porsche, but they didn't have to earn it, so the Porsche doesn't mean anything to them, and they're just like sad and depressed, surrounded by wealth and opulence, and they get, they're just partying and into hedonism, and they're not happy, man. I mean, like, whatever, you do you, honey boo boo, but in my experience, those are not truly happy people. Truly happy people are people that try to help others. They are of service to other people. They do challenging things that they enjoy, that are challenging for them, and they have a purpose that is higher than them. Family, religion, something that's a higher purpose than themselves. And they have habits that include some kind of exercise, some kind of moderately healthy food. I'm not saying it has to be like a strict diet of whatever, but moderately healthy, that's the key. And outside of that, genetics. Life. In India, we follow very strict. Your parents will choose your partner and marry. Strange arranged marriage. Yeah, arranged marriage is weird, though. It's weird how, like, statistically speaking, Like, arranged marriages are often more successful than none. It's very weird, man. There's something about it that it's strange. Yeah, it's very weird. My purpose is horsies. Horses are great. I think that's a great, that's great. Horses are awesome. Just make sure it includes people as well. Horses are amazing. Wonderful animals, magnificent. I love horses. But a horse will not replace a human. Ryan, your videos are very important, especially that's my father. I'm sorry, bro. Hang in there, Chief. That's really brutal. Chocolate Thunder Cattle. That's a hilarious name. Chocolate Thunder Cattle. Would you be interested in some hunting opportunities? Yeah. I've been on a hunt once. I went on an elk hunt. We didn't get anything. It's funny. I genuinely don't want to kill anything. However, my reason for wanting to go hunting was that, in spite of me genuinely not wanting to harm anything, I'm also a meat eater. I love meat. And I think it's important that someday, other than fishing, which is a little different, fish are just kind of... Fish, I know they're animals, but fish kind of suck. Like, fish just do not have the same, let's just call it scruples that you and I do, or that mammals do. Like, fish are kind of, they're different, man. Mammals are different, but I like meat, and part of me is like, yeah, I mean, I guess, but fish are just, yeah, fish are rough. Thanks, Cassie. And like, I think it's important to experience, like, where does meat come from? It does not come from a grocery store wrapped in cellophane. I'm not saying that fish can't feel pain. They do. But they're also little savages. Like, they eat their young. They eat anything they can. There's no... Fish just do what fish do. They're not like you and me, buddy. I hate to break it to you. But it doesn't matter. Like an elk, bringing down an elk is a very, I have no beef with elk. I have no, but I think it would be a religious experience, and I mean that. It'd be a spiritual experience to take down, field dress, haul that meat out, and then eat it for months, I know where this came from. Like, it's not just something that's like abstract, that is like a, that comes in a plastic bag. I think there's something about that experience that is probably very profound. And people that do hunt their own food have a very different relationship with nature. A much deeper connection with nature than many, many city-dwelling non-hunters who just have this weird image of, like, life is like, oh my god, like, hunters are so mean, man. And it's like, no. Like, where do you think your food comes from? Do you think that your soy tofu is cruelty-free? Do you know how many gophers, snakes, mice, and insects are slaughtered for your tofu? Millions. Millions and millions and millions. There is no such thing as a cruelty-free meal. It doesn't exist. I hate to be the bearer of bad news. Hunters, for the most part, care deeply about the land. Oh my gosh, what's up, Riley Rose? We're in a kind of weird conversation right now. But they care deeply about the land. But now I gotta stop and give some love to Riley Rose. God, dude, thanks for so much. I'm about to peace out myself, but we'll stick around for a little bit. And I may even do a little bit of ASMR just for you. Welcome, Riley Rose. Big hugs. Come here, team. Come here, guys. My name's Jeremiah. Bring it in. Having a philosophical chat today. Great to have you with us. Great to have you with us. Come here. Thanks so much. I'll even do like an actual ASMR thing, which I haven't done all channel. I'm gonna do I'm gonna do a name trace. It's fun. Let's do something funky. All right. I haven't done one of these, dude. I haven't done a name trace for somebody in like months. So let's actually do like a little bit of something kind of funky ASMR just for a second. Some funkiness. Ready? Let's get it. Let's get it. Let's get it. Let's get it. Little bit. Funky. Let's get it. Let's get it. Let's get it. Little bit. Funky. Let's get it. Little bit. Some friends and all your people on over here. You take care. Get out of here. Get out of here, Riley. Go be awesome. You're the best. Thank you so much for bringing all your community over here. And very kind and generous of you from the bottom of my heart. Thank you. But yeah, get out of here. Go take care of yourself. Go do the things. You don't even gotta say goodbye. I always gotta like raid and run and peace out. So yeah, thank you very much. But, yeah, we're just in the middle of we had like a long philosophical day of conversation. Thanks, Bryson. I appreciate it, buddy. We had a long philosophical conversation today about romance and relationships and partnership and anxiety and all. We ranged all over the place. It's been a very, very fun, for me, very enjoyable chat. Hope it's been a fun chat for most of you out there too. Feel my rhythm. Do I have German roots? Stimmt. Ich bin ein Quarter German. I'm a quarter German. I'm a quarter Swedish. I'm a quarter Norwegian. And I'm a quarter Duke's mixture, which is English, Irish, Dutch. So I'm like a Northern European mutt. So I'm 50% Scandinavian, Swedish, Norwegian. I'm a quarter German. And a quarter what's called Duke's mixture, which is English, Irish, Dutch. That's my heritage. Do you bow hunt or rifle hunt? I went with a rifle. I did not get anything. It was unsuccessful. So, because here's the other reality. If you ever do go hunting, it's really hard. There's I follow a guy named Steve Ranella. He's an interesting guy. And, he brought up something really. He did a documentary a couple of years ago that I really enjoyed, and Tony Pablo. That was called a name trace. And somebody asked him. It was like something about the ethics of like hunting a deer or something. And, the ethics of isn't it mean or cruel or whatever to hunt and do that? And he responded. It was like, well, your question was more of a point than a question, but I hear what you're saying, and let me respond. First of all, I have forgotten more about deer than you will ever know. And I believe him. Like, this is a man who is deeply committed to conservation, deeply committed to wildlife, nature, preserving, our parks and preserving all these things. Weird fact about hunters. Did you know? You can fact check me on this. I believe it is. I think it's 90%, but it's at least 80% of conservation money comes from hunters. I think it's actually 90% of conservation money comes from hunters, from gaming tags, and there's a tax whenever you buy a rifle or maybe even bullets. That money goes directly to the conservation. It's weird. And when I found that out, I was very shocked by that. I was like, wait, what? The vast majority of conservation money comes from hunters? Yeah. And again, I've never actually hunted anything. I've never taken an animal's life intentionally. Well, that's not true. I've shot a bird before. But it was like a BB gun, like whatever. But I've never hunted like a game, like a deer, an elk, whatever, okay? And I don't know, man. Again, the thing is, I think a lot of people that live in cities have a very Disney view of nature, which is nature's like kumbaya, man. Like, nature just gets along, man. And if you're nice to animals in nature, they'll show kindness back to you. And I hate to be the bearer of very disgruntling news. That is nonsense. Nature is metal. It is a constant battle for survival out there. And you being kind to a lion, bear, tiger, or wolf will have zero impact on whether that mountain lion tries to murder you. Zero. Does not care. Does not care. If it is hungry or feels threatened, it does not care. Okay? Doesn't care. So, anyway, I'm going to jump off my soapbox. My friends, you are awesome. Riley Rose, thank you so much for coming over and bringing your awesome, friendly community over here. We've had, like I said, a wide-ranging conversation all over today. But let's pay it forward and no, let's give Xyliara a raid. Alright, so I'm going to say goodbye on YouTube. Alright, I got to let my YouTube homies go. And then we're going to do a raid over here on Twitch, which means we're going to take our viewers, just like Riley gave us a raid. We're going to bring our viewers over to another friend. And this is how we kind of share the love in the ASMR community. So I'm going to let you guys go on YouTube. Have a wonderful day. Have a wonderful night. I'll catch you guys on the flip side. New video tomorrow. Still deciding which one it's going to be. You'll find out. It's a surprise. Bye. And here on Twitch,